The exclusive home of the Utah Mammoth is on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Peterka down the middle. Peterka shoots and scores! They love him here in Utah. J.J. Peterka scores against his former team to tie the game. Schmaltz ahead for Keller. Keller from center scores. Clayton Keller makes it 5 goals in a row, and it's 5-2. Mammoth on top and in charge.
You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It's time to talk some Mammoth hockey. Of course, he's on the Utah Mammoth broadcast, both radio and television, and he's nice enough to jump on with us once a week. He's our buddy Nick Olczyk. What's going on, Nick?
What's up, boys? Happy to join you guys as always, but I do got a little bit of a bone to pick.
Oh, boy.
Just a little bit of a bone to pick. I heard as I was putting down my phone after our last chat that was someone making a little fun of me with me handling some spice? Is that what I heard? Did I hear that correctly?
Yes, you did, and
yeah,
it was 100%.
all Ben. It was me, and I said, yeah. You're a tough guy. But I said I don't think these hockey players are maybe as tough as they look on the ice because the spice is a little bit too much. I did say the spice level you were eating is a novelty spice. It's designed to give you the reaction that you did have, not that you were struggling with the jalapenos. Though you did mention you don't really eat the jalapenos either.
No. You guys are right on board with my consumption of spice. I avoid it at all costs. So that one hurt. That hurt. That wasn't just like, oh yeah, I'm just sweating. That was for 2 hours, even though I was pounding milk. That one definitely hurt the trachea and the esophagus. But it's okay. We're back. We're good, and I'm able to digest food and and not have to hurt every time I swallow now.
Far be it for me to tell you how you should react to something, Nick, a tough guy like you. But if I were you, I think fisticuffs are probably in order.
Yeah, the good news is, Nick, I would never say that to your face.
I think you should probably beat Ben up. I'm just saying.
I think we could make something happen. Maybe put some hockey gloves on and I think we'd have a couple good rounds. Yeah.
Listen, Ben could have a chainsaw and he'd still lose.
Yeah, you put me on ice skates, I'm in trouble.
Be looking like Bambi out there.
Hey, this could have been a much harder interview today had the Mammoth not ran off 5 straight goals. Nick DeSimone kind of breaks the floodgates open last night. What changed? And obviously, we did see changes to the lineups from Coach Bear, but it just felt like a weight was lifted off their shoulders after a bad couple of weeks of hockey.
Yeah, but I don't. Here's what I will say. And there are certain respects that I will agree with you, but I don't think anything really changed that much in terms of schematic, in terms of tactics, in terms of the structure that they're trying to play in all 3 zones. I just thought that the mental effort was there more than it's been in the past couple of games. And when you look at that stretch where, after the 7-game win streak where they went on to lose 5 of 6, where they sat before last night's game for their defensive metrics were some of the best in the league for a pretty decent sample size being those 6 games. They allowed the fewest shot attempts. They allowed the second fewest shots on goal. So shot suppression in their own zone, pretty good. A lot of things coming from the perimeter. In terms of cycle chances, and for those of our newer fans who may not know, it's pretty much when a team passes the puck around down low behind the net, and they come out from behind the net along the sideboards and then kind of curl in towards the net. That's a cycle chance. They're sitting 4th in the league in that number. Also 4th in the league for rush chances, where the opposition is skating through the neutral zone, the area of the ice in between the 2 blue lines, and they try to make a play as they were to enter Utah's zone. So anytime you're top 5 in those categories and you're allowing not many of those chances, more times than not, you're going to give yourself a really good chance to win, especially with how you're playing defensively. But the issue was, I thought, is some mental errors, doubled up coverage, missed assignments, breakdowns in the defensive zone, as well as a couple of goals that Utah goalies definitely wanted to have back. So you wrap all of that together with the fact that the offense was drying up, especially from the top six. If you're not scoring a lot, the defensive miscues become that much more magnified. So I think it was kind of the perfect storm in that. I don't think they were playing awful. Look, they weren't at the level that they needed to be, no question. But when you look at that 7-game win streak, was every one of those games a game where they dominated and they 100% deserved to win? Yeah, majority of them, absolutely. But all of them, no. But when the goals were coming and everybody was scoring, and you're going through a stretch where it doesn't matter what you do, the puck finds its way into the back of the net, that's able to mask maybe some of the things that weren't as great, especially with how they were playing without the puck. So, yeah, huge to get back home after having the toughest schedule of anybody in the league to that point, having played the most road games. But I just felt like they were at their best for the majority of especially the latter half of the game. And I know I'm going long here, but I do want to make this point. The beginning of the game wasn't great for the Mammoth, wasn't their best. But there was a juncture in that hockey game where the Buffalo Sabres took a 2-0 lead, and that 2-0 goal was a big-time breakdown in their coverage. And it was about 7 minutes into the second period. And Karel Vejmelka then after that goal had to make a couple of unbelievable saves because Utah, they didn't make hard enough plays in their D zone. They played at the end of their reach. They wanted to make a fancy play exiting the zone. And then there was the first TV timeout of the second period. And I was standing between the benches as I do for all home games. And I looked to my right, and Utah, the Mammoth players were huddled up at the bench. And I look above them, and it's head coach Andre Tourigny, and he is absolutely having a one-way conversation. And for parents out there, when your kids don't do what you tell them to do, you know what it's like to have a one-way conversation. And it was, you got to make harder plays. You can't try to cheat for offense. You can't be risky with the puck. And he was letting them have it. And a couple of shifts later, Nick DeSimone goes out. He gives Utah some offensive life to make it a 2-1 game. And it was pretty much Utah's game the rest of the way. So a couple line changes within the game, but you got to give a lot of credit. And Andre Tourigny wasn't one of the 3 stars, but I'm giving him the first star of the game because that was the challenge and the talk that the group needed in that moment, along with a couple of line changes, especially sending J.J. Peterka to play with Lawson Krause and Jack McBain, which really ignited them. So a lot there, but the stretch that they were on where they weren't winning wasn't perfect, but I think last night, especially after they got that much-needed wake-up call, that's really what turned things around.
So kind of on a similar note, I was thinking about Peterka's revenge game, and it kind of led me to a different thought. Ben and I used to work with a former college football lineman, right? And he once told me, he said, if they weren't emotional, if you weren't emotionally up for the game, you were going to get creamed out there. And that's a football lineman, right? Where you look at somebody like Scotty Scheffler in golf, and that guy is so unemotional, he's basically a robot. So I guess my question is, your ideal hockey player, where does it fall on that? Do you have to be emotionally through the roof to be at your best in hockey, or is it one of those sports where it's better if you're more robot-like?
You have to find a balance. It's a really good question because I think the easy thought is, okay, you have to be one or the other. Well, the hardest thing and one of the most difficult things to, I think, acquire mentally as a player, and it's through experience, it's through playing a lot. Just like anything, you get better by having more repetitions of it. But if you're too far to one side, where you're almost disinterested and you're just going to make a play on the puck whenever it comes to you, you're going to play on the outside. You're going to be perimeter. In the game of hockey, you want to score, you want to win. You got to play hard on the inside of the ice. It's easy to stand on the outside. But then if you're too emotional and you're too driven in a way, you're going to look to do too much. you're going to try to do somebody else's job. And the game of hockey moves too fast. There's 5-on-5 where there's no penalties. It's 5 against 5. Everybody has a guy. So think about it this way. If you try to cover your guy and someone else's guy, someone's going to be open. Someone's going to be wide open. So having that balance of being able to start and stop, and when there's a 50-50 puck battle, and when you're going up against a guy in a corner, it's either you're coming out with it or he's coming out with it. And if he's coming out with it, he better be leaving with a bruise. I think that's kind of the mentality that really good hockey players have. And it's not saying you got to run a guy through the glass. It's not saying you got to put a guy on his keister every time there's a battle, but being hard to play against, but also knowing that, there's going to be times throughout the game where it's not as intense, or there are games that, maybe you're playing a rival, which is going to be more intense than a team you're playing in the other conference that you only face twice a year. But I just think for watching as much hockey as I have and playing growing up, you have to turn that switch on and off. And when it's off, it's not disinterested. It's, okay, I'm not going to try to do somebody else's job because I know if I do that, where's my guy going to be? He's going to be open, and that's how breakdowns happen, especially defensively. But they're in the heat of battle. That's the time where you got to turn it up. But guys, I think that are the best players and the best battlers in the league, they have the tremendous ability to read the room, to know the situations of the game, and to be able to adapt not just their play, but their attitude and the mentality of how they do what they do.
Some games that may have looked like winnable games, but have featured teams that have a lot of young talent and are getting tougher. The Ducks included, the Sharks included. They've got the Islanders coming up tomorrow, and then a stretch of difficult games again. Are they going to be able to continue this momentum?
Yeah, you have to. You have to, especially when you go on a stretch there where you lost the majority of games in that 6-game segment. So let's just, as you said, let's talk about it. Okay, so the New York Islanders, still a team that's a bit middling in the Eastern Conference, currently sitting 9th in their conference, but still a team where you've got a boatload of skill. They've got the number 1 overall draft pick from the most recent draft, Matthew Schaefer, who is an incredible story, and I would urge any of our fans to just type his name in on Google and read a little bit about him. His mom passed away from breast cancer, and the things that he's done with grief programs to help others that have lost parents. He's 18 going on 40 and a super impressive kid off the ice and a stud on the ice who's probably going to have some people talking about a possible spot on the upcoming Olympic team at the Olympics in February. It may be a little bit too young, but at least he's in that conversation at just 18 years old. And then you go back out on the road for a back-to-back, Anaheim, San Jose, and the Anaheim Ducks they're ready to take that next step. And when you look at the young talent that they've got, Olin Zellweger, Mason McTavish, Leo Carlson, who is as good of a young two-way center as there is in the entire National Hockey League, and you pair all of those guys with the second most successful coach in NHL history, Joel Quenneville, which is just awesome to see him back behind an NHL bench. It's not that different of a situation for Joel taking over the Ducks as he was, for those that know, in the early 2010s when he took over the Chicago Blackhawks and led them to 3 cups in 6 years. So I don't know if the Ducks are exactly on that trajectory. I don't know if they're exactly where they are, where the Hawks were with a couple of 1st and 3rd overall picks back in the day, but they are a team that is as impressive as anybody. And while they score a lot, they give up a lot defensively too, but they have certainly earned the right to be where they're at, atop of the Pacific Division, which is a good division. And then you head to San Jose, and that's a team that is always a tough out. They've got young guns that play on the transition. They got a ton of skill, but similar in a way to Anaheim, not as far along as Anaheim is in their rebuild and build, but a team that cheats for offense. So those are the types of games where you really got to manage the puck extremely well. If you give it away, if you don't make the play that they give you, you're going to be pulling the puck out of your net, because though they give up a lot defensively, they're very, very capable of making you look silly if you turn the puck over, you don't manage it well. And then you come back home for 4 tough games. You got Vegas twice. You got New York Rangers. You got the Canadians, who are another young run-and-gun team. And then you head on the road for 10 days for 6 games. So, look, this schedule, especially this year, guys, is so compact because of the big break for the Olympics. But the only way out of it is through. And with how this team played last night, they should have a boatload of confidence going into practice today and then a big game against the New York Islanders tomorrow.
Nick, I know I speak for Christian and myself when I say we love having you on the show and communicating with you with respect. Thank you so much. As
Nick,
always.
what are we eating on the road? What are you eating on the road? You're a Chicago guy. What's your background? We eating hot dogs? What's our deal?
So if I'm in Chicago, which is my hometown, I'm going with a nice Chicago dog. Okay, we're going to Portillo's. If I ever find you guys in Chicago, I'm taking you right to Portillo's. We're going to get a couple Chicago dogs. No ketchup allowed. So if anybody gets putting ketchup on there, you're going to be the one that's eating something spicy.
Is it because it's too spicy? Is that why you don't do ketchup, or what's the problem?
No, it's nothing to do with spice. It's just sacrilege to put any sort of ketchup on there. So with a Chicago dog, you got the onions, you got the relish, a little mustard. Maybe a couple of sweet peppers on there, and then sliced tomatoes. No ketchup. You got to get the sliced tomatoes, and then right on top you put the big old pickle spear, and then you're ready to rock. So, and then that's just the appetizer, guys. Then you go have a nice big Italian beef with sweet peppers, and then maybe end it with a piece of chocolate cake. So it's a meal, but those from Chicago, we like to eat.
Good heavens, I'm full just thinking about that. That's an incredible amount of food. Nick, thank you. We do. We really enjoy it. Thank you so much for coming on with us.
Always a pleasure, boys. I say it all the time, but I mean it. Keep up the great work, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Nick.
That's our buddy Nick Olczyk. Well, at least my buddy. You got to stop insulting our guests, Ben.
No, I don't.
Well, I don't think Nick liked it very much. I think he took
Someone didn't like it.
I think
They
he
texted
took offense to it. Bother him. He's the toughest guest we've got.
He can't even eat spicy food. What are you talking about?
He took like a puck to the face last year.
He had Tabasco sauce, and he started sweating.
Wow. It was worse than I remembered. You did. You questioned his toughness right there. He should beat you up the next time he sees you.
I've never met him.